All right. Happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath, everybody. Happy Sabbath to you guys online. Today, we're going to talk about, we going to get an understanding on black fatigue. We going to get an understanding on black fatigue. What is it? The true definition. Where did the term come from? And look at, are people using it right? How should we use it? That's what we're going to talk about today. That's what we're going to talk about. And then once we get the real definition of black fatigue, we're going to break it down according to the Bible. So all praise to the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And we'll be back after this intro. All right, we back. We back. Let's do a quick sound check. Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear. Let's see. Go ahead, out.
Mic check, mic check.
You good? You good? Okay. You can hear Jerry? You good?
Mic check.
All right. All praises. Once again, happy Sabbath. All praises to the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Israel, the creator of heaven and earth, the God who led the children of Israel out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Want to send a special shout out to the 12 tribes of Israel scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, especially to the men, women, and children that's keeping the commandments and the faith of Christ. And the faith of Christ. We got a lot to cover today. We got to get into this term, black fatigue. Probably about 3 weeks ago, this was a term that went crazy on TikTok. TikTok is a hell of a drug, but it's an app that people are addicted to. And when things, if you want to get the word out about something, your best bet is to go on TikTok, it seemed like. But this black fatigue thing came out on TikTok. So we gonna break that down because it was the hot topic about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, about a month ago. So we gonna break that on down. Before we do, let's get the reading of the law. Exodus chapter 20, verse 1.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 1. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And all the people saw the thunderings, and the lightnings, and the noise of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they
All
said,
right, that's it. My bad. Let's get Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. That was the reading of the law. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
That's God's will. Give me 1 John 2, 3, and 4.
1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoso keepeth his word,
yeah, go ahead.
But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby we know that we are in him.
Go to Revelations 14 and 12.
Revelation chapter 14 and verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus.
And the faith of Christ. It's about the commandments and your faith. That's what we have to understand. So let's get into today's topic. Understanding black fatigue. What's the name? Understanding black fatigue, the beginning of your wake-up call. So we're going to talk about what is black fatigue, what people think black fatigue is, and then once we break down what is black fatigue, we go understand that black fatigue is actually a wake-up call. So we gonna break all of that down. It's actually a wake-up call according to the definition of black fatigue. So we got a lot to cover. So let's dive right into it. So let's look at what is black fatigue according to TikTok. Go to the list. We gonna watch this video real quick. Yeah, keep me on. All right, go to a video that say watch TikTokers hijack. And play it from 0 to 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Skip that.
Called a 5-year-old a racist.
So TikTokers have decided to hijack the term black fatigue to describe their racism. Here it is.
The woman who called a 5-year-old a racial slur. My first impression after watching the video, a little bit of white trash. I have to be honest, the kid was 5. I have worked with 5-year-olds for the last 15 years. Absolutely everything they do is out of pocket. They're like little unhinged drunk people. Nothing they do makes sense. A 5-year-old is capable of rifling through somebody's bag and taking things that don't belong to them. Ask any kindergarten teacher. But I realize why so many people are wanting to defend this, because black fatigue is real. I think society as a whole is there. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior, entitlement, the victimhood, that they want to praise this woman. But what she did is not praiseworthy. But also on the same hand, please remember that every day that us white people get on this app, we get called racial slurs every single day. So if you don't want to be called a racial slur, you also have to stop calling people racial slurs. You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth.
I have more videos. She's not the only one trending under black fatigue. Here it is.
If I'm not allowed to blame you for all of my life's problems, then you're not allowed to blame me for yours.
When I first got on, before I got on TikTok, I thought that racism was only white people being racist. I was so wrong. It makes me sad because there are so many black people that are racist. And this black fatigue, it's real. We're tired of it. All these dear white women, dear white people.
Black fatigue is real. Everybody is tired of black people, but it's two specific types of black people that everyone is tired of. Number one, everybody is tired of loud, ghetto, and ratchet, and violent, and mean, and angry all the time. Everybody is tired of them. Nobody wants to deal with them. Even other black people do not want to deal with these people. You know when you see them in public, you know when they're going to give you attitude at the CVS. Everybody knows it and they want to avoid it. The second group of black people that everybody is tired of is this sort of like fake black bougie intelligentsia who kind of like walks around telling everybody how they're supposed to think or speak or act.
So they're describing black fatigue as other races tired of black people ghetto-ness, being racist towards other nationalities. This is what they're describing as black fatigue on TikTok. Go ahead. That's play. Keep going to 2 minutes and 50.
When it comes to anything black, these are the most privileged black people in the world. These people have built enormous platforms and have so much money, and yet they are.
That's it. All right. Go to the next video. So what we doing? We just getting an understanding of how people are defining black fatigue. Go to the list. Go to defining black fatigue, how it affects other communities. Go to a minute and 8 seconds. Play. No, from 0 to a minute and 8 seconds.
Fatigue, it has recently been turned into black fatigue. It has recently been turned into a feeling that some white and black people have who say they are damn tired of foolishness of some black people, the claims of racism from sunup to sundown, loud talking, fighting, and the list goes on. Not my list now, keep that in mind. But some people are tired of the complaints and don't give a damn. Here's what one TikTok user had to say about it.
Not racist, and I know y'all have been told this is racist, but it's not. It's not racist to call Black people out for their behavior and what they're doing to society at this moment. I'm glad people are noticing this because it's been so many years and it's finally catching up to y'all. I've been trying to tell y'all that white people are tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all too, but everybody, the world is getting sick of y'all and y'all's. I'm so glad this day is here. I've been trying to get out there that you people need help. It's me, but me and other Black conservatives. We've been trying to warn society that this is what it's going to come to when y'all keep coddling Black people.
All right, go to a minute and 30 seconds.
All righty. Are her feelings valid? Joining us to talk about it, Dr. Angela Jones, political analyst, Angela Box, activist, Eugene Howard, filmmaker Sean Welling, and conservative M. Williams. We want to thank you all for joining us here on The Factor. First of all, let's define what Black fatigue is supposed to be, Dr. Jones.
Black fatigue is supposed to be just and I'm trying to make it as short as possible. Basically, society is saying that they're tired of how Black people are blaming things that have happened to us historically in the past on what's happening today. And they are also now adding different things that they have seen in society to that behavior as well. As she said, like loud mouthing or maybe, using certain words or certain behaviors in public. So that's basically the definition in a short sense.
Do we get any?
All right, pause. You can stop sharing. So imagine how some of them describe it. They describe two things as Black fatigue. One part of Black fatigue is they're tired of us complaining about being oppressed. This is the pride of the so-called white man. How you go oppress a people and still oppress them, and then the people who are being oppressed can't even talk about it, to where now is Black fatigue. Now, and the other side of how they define Black fatigue is they're tired of the ghetto-ness of Black people. They're tired of the loudmouth. You know how they describe the ghetto-ness. Do y'all know what they mean by ghetto? That's what they're saying Black fatigue is. Now, let's go to Psalms 44. Psalms 44 and verse 13.
Psalms chapter 44 and verse 13. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors.
You see that? It said God was going to make his people a reproach. A reproach is like having a bad reputation. He said you're going to be a reproach to your neighbors. Go ahead.
A scorn and a derision to them that are round about us.
It said a scorn and a derision to the people that's round about you. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen.
You see that? He said we're going to be a byword, means be called out our name among the heathen. Go ahead. And what else?
A shaking of the head among the people.
And people go shake their head at us. They go look at how we act, look at how our mentality, and shake their head at us. Said we was going to be a shaking of the head. And that's what we see going on. It's just the audacity and the pride of how people say they're tired of us talking about oppression. But they bring up 9/11 every year. They pay to the Jewish man every year. They bring up all the 4th of July, Independence Day. They got independence from Britain. What if Britain say, we tired of y'all celebrating 4th of July, y'all independence from us?
Emotional damage.
The audacity of these racists, man. Go to Psalms 80 and verse 6.
Psalms chapter 80 and verse 6.
This is what they're doing.
Psalms chapter 80 and verse 6. Thou makest us a strife unto our neighbors, and our enemies laughing among themselves.
They say our enemies are laughing at us, laughing among themselves. This is that shaking of the head, the byword. We are destroyed so bad that we are so far out of our natural character that's where they get the ghetto and all this stuff. And they look at how our mentality, they look at our people, and they laugh, and they're laughing at us. And they calling it black fatigue. Go to Jeremiah 24 and verse 9.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 24 and verse 9. And I will deliver them to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
So he talking about Israel, the children of Israel. They're going to be scattered to all the kingdoms on the earth. Don't that sound familiar? Part of that was the transatlantic slave trade. Scattered into all the kingdoms. Go ahead.
For their hurt. To be a reproach.
To be a reproach. Go ahead.
And a proverb. A taunt. And a curse.
And a curse. They go taunt us. They go talk bad about us. And a curse. Go ahead.
In all places whither I shall drive them.
In all the places where we at. This is how we get talked about. America is just the worst one. Because Judah is the biggest. America is one of the worst captivities, and they still oppressing us and acting like they're not. They're so crafty, and they're the powerhouse right now. So the level of oppression that they do to us got our mentality on 10, going in a bad way. Let's go back to the video. Go to the video. Go back to the list. Keep it like that. Keep it like that. Go back to the list. Get if white people use words black fatigue. Start at 0. So now we go look at this 0 to 2 minutes and 19 seconds.
Let me explain why I said y'all are racist. Using the term black fatigue to describe how you're tired of seeing certain problematic behaviors in certain individuals is racist. Using the words black fatigue is suggesting that you're tired of black people, when what the problem is those behaviors that are not tied to a certain group of people. Using words like ghetto and uncivilized to describe these people is stereotyping all black people. You're making a generalization about the entire population. What you are tired of is those behaviors, not the color of the people's skin. The irony that I was trying to point out is that you're using a term that is describing the mental toll that years of oppression has taken on black people.
Oh, here we go with this nonsense. No, we don't want to hear that. I promise you I'm going to play the rest of the video. But the fact of the matter is, when you say black fatigue, that could be applicable to any term that comes after it. It don't have to necessarily be black people. it could be black culture. For example, I believe that black culture is trash.
What he's saying is false. A term has meaning. You can't just use any term the way you want to use it. That's not how words work. This brother right here, he do a lot of good things, but his mentality is such coonery that sometimes there's a lot of stuff you can listen to what he say, but when some stuff you just be like, goodness, but you can't rewind it a little bit. Did y'all pay attention to what he said? Rewind it a little bit.
Could be applicable to any term that comes after it.
Right,
It don't have to.
That I was trying to point out is that you're using a term that is describing the mental toll that years of oppression has taken on Black people.
Oh, here we go with this nonsense. No, we don't want to hear that. I promise you I'm going to play the rest of the video. But the fact of the matter is, when you say black fatigue, that could be applicable to any term that comes after it. It don't.
No. The term, you have to use terms with what they mean. You can't just say it's applicable to anything. That's not how words work. Words have meaning. Terms have meaning. And what we gonna learn, the young lady, what she said is actually correct. And he got mad. Go ahead.
Don't have to necessarily be black people. It could be black culture. For example, I believe that black culture is trash. And the things that we celebrate the most culturally as a group, as a whole, and you can't absolve everybody from it, because even though we know that black people are not a monolith, and we know that most people are not racist, or at least I don't believe that most people are racist, you can't ignore the fact that we are influenced by the things that we see the most, and that the proximity of the people that celebrate it the most. So if there's a stereotype to be spoken about, then that means that specifically it is earned. It is not given. It didn't come from anywhere. People didn't just make it up randomly. It is a behavior that you regularly see in certain environments. It's not conducive for the rest of the group or for America as a whole. So if I keep seeing.
Now, how do y'all think he's using the term black fatigue? He's using the term black fatigue the same way as we seen in the other videos. Somebody that's tired of black ghetto-ness. He called it black culture, which is true. Our culture is trash. But if our culture is trash, who controls our culture right now? It's not black people. It's not black people. We don't control, for instance, the damn BET Awards. I don't know if y'all seen this. Who won Gospel Song of the Year? Y'all don't know? That's a good thing y'all don't know.
I didn't watch it. It was
Glorilla won the Gospel Song of the Year.
How she do that?
Don't nobody know. Glorilla, she was surprised. She accepted the award. She was like, well, she didn't even know what to say. She said, since it's the Gospel Award, I guess thank God. We don't, BET is ran by not our people.
It's ran by them Khazars.
Exactly. So we're not controlling our culture. So I agree with that with him. We don't, black culture is trash, but guess who's putting it out there? Guess who's putting it out there? Go ahead.
In this, or I keep seeing the majority of people celebrating it. And again, black people could have black fatigue because black people don't necessarily rock with the cultural differences that we champion versus what the ghetto people are championing. And for you to start bringing this whole racist trope narrative, all of this other nonsense into it, is absolutely BS, man. And we so tired if y'all leaning into something.
All right, you can stop sharing now because I want to talk about something. Now, y'all seen all the black people saying, talking about using black fatigue wrong. And we didn't prove it yet, but we gonna prove later that they're using black fatigue wrong. So if they're using black fatigue wrong, they're using it in the way of they are looking down at certain behaviors of black people, right? But how do God look at it? To tell you the truth, all of them is in one cup. Him and the ghetto people, according to God, is in one cup. Why? Because they're all in sin. Because you know what we have? We have sin fatigue. Sin fatigue goes for any culture, any race, any culture. Righteous people have sin fatigue. These people, these black people complaining about ghetto black people, these are self-righteous, wicked Israelites. That's what they are. Self-right. They looking at what they think is righteous. And if you don't do what they think is righteous, then they'll talk about you like how they talk about the black fatigue. Let's look at that. Go to Luke 16. Luke 16 and verse 15.
Luke chapter 16 and verse 15.
Start at 14.
Verse 14. And the Pharisees also, who were covetous, heard all these things, and they derided him.
So this talking about the Pharisees. Watch how Christ respond to them. Verse 15.
And he said unto them, ye are they which justify yourselves before men.
They justify themselves before men. Because you know where their righteousness come from? How they think black people should act, walk, talk. It comes from the oppressors.
That's what they sided with.
It comes exactly. Go ahead, Doc.
That's who they put. That's who they place themselves with. That's who they align themselves with. They looking at their own people and saying, "We tired of y'all.
We tired of y'all. The way y'all act is not how you should act. The way we should act is how our oppressors act. Suit, tie, y'all know how it is.
Bald head.
Bald head. Yeah, he sit out there head naked as hell.
Clean as hell. Mr. Clean head.
When God, so they just read that again, not verse 15.
Luke 16 and 15. And he said unto them, ye are they which justify yourselves before men.
It say they justify themselves before men. Go ahead.
But God knoweth your heart.
But God know your hearts, because you ain't fight against sin. You fighting against some sin. You fighting against the sins you don't like. But the sins you like, you don't say nothing about that. The stuff that they into, what they say. But you got it. Nobody's perfect. Why you don't give that same grace to these ghetto people? Why you don't say nobody's perfect to them? Because if we go to them and cut them up with the Bible, what they go, nobody's perfect. Jesus died on the cross for grace. But they want to look down to what they call ghetto, black culture, black fatigue. Finish that off, Hawk.
For that which is highly esteemed among men is abomination in the sight of God.
You see that? He said the things that they highly esteem among man is an abomination before God. Because this same brother, he gonna celebrate 4th of July, Christmas, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Juneteenth. He gonna celebrate all that stuff, and that's an abomination to God. That's abomination to God. So they're judging people on their own righteousness. We're not supposed to do that. Go to Isaiah 65. Isaiah 65, verse 3.
Isaiah 65 and verse 3. A people that provoketh me to anger continually to my face.
So let's see. So God said there's a people that's continually invoking me to anger. Let's see what we talking about. Go ahead.
That sacrificeth in gardens and burneth incense upon altars of brick.
Talking about the ones that's in idolatry. Remember, all these people that was judging the ghetto people, they going off the worldly sense, the worldly aspect, because they're in the same idolatry as the ghetto people. When Christmas comes, them and the ghetto people is one. They on one accord that day. They on one accord. That's idolatry. Go ahead.
Which remain among the graves and lodge in the monuments, which eat swine's flesh.
I bet all of them eat swine's flesh. I bet the majority of the people that's complaining eating swine's flesh. The point is, your sins are not better than their sins. Your sins is not, it don't make you better because you doing these sins and they doing these sins. Y'all all in sin. That's the point. Go ahead.
Which remain among the graves and lodge in the monuments, which eat swine's flesh, and broth of abominable things is in their vessel.
Verse 5.
Which say, stand by thyself.
So these are what the self-righteous people, even though they in other sins, they probably not in the same sins as the ghetto people, which a lot of them are. But the point is all is sin, and this the mentality they got. Verse 5.
Which say, stand by thyself, come not near to me.
Y'all stay over there. Don't come near to me. Why? Go ahead.
For I am holier than thou.
I am holier than thou. This is how they're looking at, and then talking about black fatigue. Like they holier than these people. Y'all in sin too, according to the Most High, according to the righteous people. All of y'all is the same to us. The ones that striving to keep the commandments and the faith of Christ. Y'all in the same boat. They just a little more far gone, but y'all all in the same boat. All of y'all need to repent. Go ahead.
Behold, it is written before me.
Finish that 5 off.
Which say, stand by thyself, come not near to me, for I am holier than thou. These are a smoke in my nose, a fire that burneth all the day.
They say these self-righteous people, these are a smoke in my nose. These are a smoke in my nose. These people that letting you know y'all in the same boat as these people. Y'all in the same boat. Because on Judgment Day, what you gonna say? Well, at least my sins wasn't worse than theirs. Y'all are gonna be in that lake of fire. You are. If you don't repent, you're gonna die. Point blank. Go to Romans 12 and verse 2.
The book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 2. And be not conformed to this world.
Because that's what they are. The people that's complaining about their wrong definition of black fatigue. They are conformed to this world. They go to whichever they are scattered, whatever they are scattered in, on what captivity they are around the earth, they conform to that world. The scriptures say, don't conform to this world. Go ahead.
But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
Go to Proverbs 30. So these are, when I'm looking at these videos and I'm just like, they are so self-righteous, but they are self-righteous based on their own definition of righteousness. We can't be self-righteous based off our own definition of righteousness. That's not, because you go end up on one of these videos talking about you got black fatigue. You're gonna be looking crazy like they looking in the videos. In verse 12.
Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 12. There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes.
They are pure in their own eyes. Still ain't, but when it comes to the Bible and sin, nobody's perfect. So they are pure in their own eyes. Go ahead.
There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness.
And yet is not washed from their own filthiness. How dare you judge somebody by your own definition of righteousness, and you not even cleansed from your own filthiness. You're not even cleansed from your own sins. This is how God is looking at all of them. Get yourself together. You know what sin you in. Get yourself together before you try to judge. Let's get that. Get Matthew 7 and verse 1.
Matthew chapter 7 and verse 1. Judge not that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye met, it shall be measured to you again.
Verse 3.
And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye?
You looking at the issue that your brother has. Go ahead.
But considers not the beam that is in thine own eye.
But when it comes to your own problems, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. They said we all fall short of the glory of God. But get yourself together. Go to Luke 18 and verse 9.
Luke chapter 18 and verse 9. And he spake this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves.
So these are people who trust in themselves. When people are going off their own definition of righteousness, these are people that trust in themselves. Everybody in them videos that was talking about black fatigue based on the wrong definition of what black fatigue is, these are people that trust in themselves. Remember, we can't judge people off our own self-righteousness. If it's not a sin, you might not agree with it, but you can't judge nobody for it. You can't judge nobody for it if it's not a sin. People should be able to do what they want to do according to the will of God. It's not a sin. Go ahead.
And he spake this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves.
So these are people that trust in themselves. These people actually think that they're not in oppression. Everybody, all them black people y'all hear speak about what black fatigue is, these are people, they don't believe that they're in oppression. We're going to go over some of that later. So that means they trust in themselves. Go ahead.
That they were righteous.
That they were what?
Righteous.
That they were righteous and do what?
And despised others.
And they despise others. This is exactly how these people are. They trust in themselves. They think that they are righteous, and they despise others. Go ahead.
Verse 10. 2 men went up into the temple to pray, the one a Pharisee and the other a publican. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself, God, I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. I fast twice in the week. I give tithes of all that I possess. And the publican, standing afar off, would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast, saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. I tell you.
So he said, the other one said, have mercy, I'm a sinner. This is how they need to be speaking. Because, and the reason why I'm saying that, these same people, when they're talking about the Bible and God, they always say nobody's perfect. They always say that. We're all sinners. But when it comes to other people, black fatigue and all this crap. Verse 14.
I tell you, this man went down to his house justified.
He went down how?
To his house justified.
Why? Because he repented. Go to Isaiah 30 and verse 12.
Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 12. Wherefore, thus said the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word and trust in oppression.
What they do?
Trust in oppression.
Our people trust in oppression. They really believe that you can work your way out of oppression. You cannot go above the state of your people. Who learned that the hard way? What's his name? Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill learned that the hard way. That boy got pulled over right in front of his job in a Lamborghini. They don't care how much money you got. They don't care what status you got, how famous you are. They pulled him out that car, slammed him to the ground, put him in handcuffs right in front of the stadium. He was on his way to go play a football game. You can't be above the state of your people. They still go look at you as a Negro. But according to these people, oppression is done. They'll tell you, you wasn't never a slave. You was born in the 80s. You was never a slave. And we're going to talk about that. Read it again now, verse 12.
Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay therein.
And stay therein, go ahead.
Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you.
This iniquity means trusting in oppression is sin. The Bible said that's iniquity, trusting in oppression. Because when you trust in oppression, you envy the oppressor and you're choosing their ways. The heritage of the oppressor become yours, which is sin. It says you're supposed to be separate from the oppressor, the people that's round about you. It says 13, therefore this iniquity
shall be to you as a breach, ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant.
It said you gonna be broken down for that same sin, trusting in oppression. So now let's get the real definition of black fatigue. Go to Google, share it out. Let's get the real definition of black fatigue. Let me know when you got it shared out. All right, type in who coined the term black fatigue. So remember, we have to use terms based on what they mean. Zoom in on that and do show more. I read that out, that paragraph.
The term black fatigue was coined by Mary Frances Winters.
Now we got who even came up with the term. The term came from Mary Frances Winters. She coined the term of black fatigue. Let's see what it means. Go ahead.
She is the author of the book Black Fatigue.
So she wrote a book called Black Fatigue. Go ahead.
How racism erodes the mind, body, and spirit.
It say black fatigue is about how racism erodes the mind, body, and spirit. So what that young sister was saying in that video, she was right. That brother was 100% wrong. When she said black fatigue was about racism, the racism that black people experience, he cut her off and came in and said something totally that was 100% wrong. This is why TikTok is doo-doo for the mind. You will be out here repeating some stuff that's totally wrong if you don't do your research. And because why don't people know that? And it's right there. You looking at TikTok through your phone. People never research. People never research. So you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. It's not even in books. It's on the internet. It's on the phone that our people is so addicted to. This was literally a 5-second Google search to see what does black fatigue mean. That brother, he went off on that young sister in his reaction video, and he was wrong. He need to take that video down. Because what the sister said in the video was 100% correct. Read that one more time, Mark.
The term black fatigue was coined by Mary Frances Winters. She is the author of the book Black Fatigue, How Racism Erodes the Mind, Body, and Spirit, where she defined the concept as the emotional, physical, and generational toll that racism takes on black people.
On what people?
On black people.
So by the definition, white people can't have black fatigue. By very definition, there is no such thing as what that Edomite said, the woman said, was black fatigue. All them people was wrong. The man was on this TV show, the Isaiah, where he had the panel. He had a whole panel up there. Everybody is wrong on the definition of black fatigue. You mean tell me you don't have researchers researching this before you go up here and do a damn TV show? We have to learn how to read and think for ourselves. TikTok will have you out here looking crazy. Stop sharing that out. Stop sharing that out. Now, this is the actual book. I got the book. What do you say, Men's Society? I got the tape. I got the tape, Kane. I said this was interesting. I want to get a real understanding. I went through the book, so we gonna go through the book. Go to page 1 of the book. So let's get an understanding, the real understanding of what black fatigue is. Let's get page 1 of the book. Zoom in on it and read that highlighted part. So this is what for black fatigue mean, according to the person who coined the term.
The fatigue of the fatigue of enduring unrelenting racist systems was not, is the next line up, was not new with the 2020 protests.
Go ahead.
What was new was that black people, from the famous to the everyday citizen, were given permission to take off the proverbial muzzle to tell the world about their pain and rage without fear of the normal backlash.
So they said in 2020 was new. It was now black people had a voice to speak on black fatigue. On how y'all remember it's still going on, but it was something new was happening all the time. And it was happening on video. The brother got killed, what's his name? Ahmaud Arbery got killed jogging in his own neighborhood. Some Edomites, some white boys, so-called white boys, tracked him down and killed him, was asking them questions, telling you don't belong in this neighborhood, and shot him. Because he wouldn't stop and listen to him. That type of that would give you black fatigue. Like again? And we know how we all in here being harassed by the police. We know why we're getting harassed. We gotta have that talk with our sons. How you act when you get pulled over by the police. That's black fatigue. This is what we're talking about. Read that next highlighted part.
Black people were no longer denying or suppressing the emotional toll we were both.
They said they were not suppressing the emotional toll. This is when they start forming what was it, Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. Now go to page 2. Start at the highlight spot. You sure not? Now she about to tell us how she defined black fatigue.
Therefore, I define.
Shut up. That's the wrong. Yeah. You sure not the right one? All right, let's get that.
Therefore, I define black fatigue as repeated variations of stress that result in extreme exhaustion and cause mental, physical, and spiritual maladies that are passed down from generation to generation.
You see that? So black fatigue is a repeated variations of stress that comes from mental, physical, spiritual maladies that are passed down from generation to generation. Scroll down. Let's see if they got more on that. Yeah, scroll down. Hold on, that wasn't page 2. Well, close all of those. Close all of those. Don't save them, just close them. Click on, don't save. Just close all of them. Because you're pulling up the wrong pages. Now go to the folder and just they listed, they numbered, page 2. Documents. Read that. This is what I want. Read that up.
Black people have been marching, protesting, resisting, writing, orating, praying, legislating, and commentating for centuries for equity and justice.
So it says it's been centuries we've been trying to get equity and justice, praying, legislating, trying to do it the right way, protest, all types of stuff we've been doing for centuries, hundreds of years. Go ahead.
Young and old, we are fatigued.
Say we are fatigued. This is what black fatigue is. For hundreds of years, we've been doing this. Even today, hundreds of years. It say we are fatigued. This is the definition of black fatigue. Go ahead.
It is physically, mentally, and emotionally draining to continue to experience iniquities and even atrocities day after day when justice, equity, and fairness are perpetually legislated rights of all citizens of these United States of America.
Scroll down. Read that next highlighted.
It is about the fatigue that comes from the pain and anguish of living with racism every single day of your life.
So now we got the true definition of black fatigue. It's from the pain and anguish of living with racism every day of your life. Meaning it's about the oppressed. The fatigue of being oppressed is what black fatigue is. Go to page 33. Well, I think that's the page. Yeah, that's the page we read the first time. Now, go to the back to the video list. Go back to the video list and pull up black fatigue culture.
Black fatigue is real. We are just
Share it out. Are you muted?
Black fatigue is real. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior.
Why none of y'all went to actually go do any research on what it actually means, right?
I am Mary Frances Winters.
All right, pause.
I am.
So this is Mary Winters here. So the brother was like, why ain't nobody go look this up? Why ain't nobody go look this up? So he went, looked it up for the people. Play it out.
I'm the author of Black Fatigue, How Racism Erodes the Mind, Body, and Spirit. I understand that there are some white people who are claiming to have Black fatigue. They're claiming that they are tired of Black people. I wrote and coined the term Black fatigue to describe the mental, the physical, and the psychological manifestation of racism on Black people and how fatiguing it is. As a matter of fact, having to respond to the co-opting of the term Black fatigue is absolutely fatiguing.
Pause. Yeah, I heard what she said. She said having to respond to these white people trying to change the word is fatiguing. That's fatiguing within itself. This sister wrote a whole book, did her research, became an author, and they tried to steal her term and use it on themselves. She said the fact that I wrote a book and still have to come out and explain this is fatiguing within itself. Imagine you do all the work to write a book and people just take your work and make it what they want it to mean. Look at the pride of the so-called white man, the friendly neighborhood white man. Go ahead.
Y'all didn't let these certain type of people flip what the meaning of it is. And these other Black folks, the others, the ones that's not really part of us, those, y'all let them influence y'all too. But y'all didn't give reference to Mary Frances Winters, who wrote a whole book about what Black fatigue actually is.
Now, white people may be fatigued. I am not going to try to get into someone else's lived experience, but I would ask you not to get into ours either. How would you know that Black people have not experienced the fatigue that we speak about if you've not lived in our shoes? I don't know what your experience is, but I know that it's not Black fatigue.
I'm actually going to buy this book. I'm going to read this book. And I'm going to support this Black woman who was trying to educate people on what we face.
Visit shop.mrwelch.
All right, that's it. Y'all see that the brother actually did research and this was a 5-second Google search. Sister wrote a book about it. Go to the next video. Go back to the one that say if white people use the word Black fatigue with the Black people.
Let me explain why I said y'all.
Go to 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Never been through and trying to hold people accountable that has never done.
Go back about 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Y'all heard what he said? Before you play it, he said, because remember, she was talking about racism and slavery. He said, y'all try to use something y'all never been through. Play it.
It's absolutely BS, man. And we so tired of y'all leaning into something that you've never been through and trying to hold people accountable that has never done anything to you in your entire life. None of those people are even still here. All of them died off, the people that went through it and the people that perpetuated it. As a matter of fact, some of the very ones that perpetuated it were Black people. Yes, Black people were slavers also. So when we have this conversation, we have to have it in truth. We can't sit here and keep pretending like the things that we see on a regular basis, that you're not getting called out of your name if you decide that you don't want to align with the 92% that voted for Kamala Harris. Come on, man, let's be real. Like we
just play it.
We have to be honest. It is a thing. It is a cultural norm. You are expected to operate a certain type of way. And if you don't operate that way, then you're going to be called Carlton or worse, because being Carl.
All right. So y'all see what he said. It's a lot of black people that think like that. He said that we complaining about something that you never been through. All them people died out. The people that did it, the people that went through it. Let me tell y'all something, man. The children of those oppressors, when y'all go back and look at black people being hung and the white people standing around, y'all know it's little kids right there in them photos. Little white kids looking at black people getting hung. What you think them white kids grew up to be? Where do you think they learned it from? It's just in today's society, they can't be so obvious with it, but they learning the same thing. They learning the same thing. I remember one time, this, let me give y'all one of my black fatigue stories. I was working for a moving company. I was in college working, and when I came home in the summers, I worked for a moving company. And we used to drive to work, and then we used to go to the moving jobs in vans, all ride together in vans. So we taking a lunch break. It's white people, black people, anybody who you ride with. So we on lunch break. So instead of eating, I just went in a van and I went to sleep. So I'm in them vans got all those rows. I went to the very back row and I'm laying down. Nobody can see me. Nobody even knew I was in the van. So about 2 or 3 white dudes, they smoking a cigarette. They come sit in the van smoking their cigarettes, talking. So they talking about some chick dude was like, "Hey man, you're still dealing with old girl such dude said." He said, "Nah, I don't dealing with her. She been with a black dude. I don't want her anymore. She had that black D." Yeah, I know the word he used. And all the other white dudes like, "Oh man, she's done. Like she's done." And I set up because they didn't know I was in the back. And I set up. I say, "What? She had what?" And they were like, "Oh, Marcus, what the hell you doing in the van? You supposed to be out there working." Like, because they was managers. I said, "All right, whatever, man." I was like 19. Like I didn't take it to heart like that. But that's part of this is part of the stuff we have to deal with. Yeah, oh man, she had in there. Because that thing, like once they say, once you go black, you never go back. It's because they don't want you back. They don't want them back. Once they know they been with a black dude, they don't want them black. They don't want them back. That's and just if you talk to any black man in America, they have thousands of stories like that. Just growing up, thousands of stories where they dealt with stuff like that. But he said, we're not dealing with it today. Let's get something recent. Go to page 3 of the book. Hey, this is a good book. She broke it down pretty good. Go to page 3 and read from the highlighted part. Get that. Read that out.
Systems of oppression continue to loom large. Many race-based iniquities are just as prevalent today as they were 400 years ago.
So she's like, hey, it's a bunch of inequities that was present 400 years ago that's still here. Go to the next highlighted part. She gonna describe one of them.
While we might want to congratulate ourselves for legislation that makes overt acts of racism illegal, they still happen too frequently and often continue to require more legal action to address racist practices.
So they like, look, we still have to protest to make laws of racist actions that's happening today in 2025. Go ahead.
As a recent example of legislation, consider the Crown Act, which protects the rights of Black people to wear our hair in its natural.
Go to page 4. The Crown Act. The Crown Act. Now, this is something that, go to page 4. This is something that people were getting fired from their jobs for wearing their natural hair. This was in 2019. It started in 2019. How is that not racism still prevalent today? So they had to come up with the Crown Act. Show that out, page 4. Read that.
Just to highlight it.
Yeah, just highlight it.
It is incomprehensible to think that we need a law to protect the rights to wear our hair as we prefer. That such oppression still exists.
That oppression still exists. Go to Google and type in the Crown Act. It said it's crazy that oppression still exists. Let's read what's scroll down. Go to Wikipedia. It should be Wikipedia. Type in wiki at the top. Is that it? All right, share that out. Read that.
The Crown. Create.
This is what Crown means.
Create a respectful and open workplace for Natural Hair Act.
That's what Crown means. Create a respectful and open workplace for natural hair. Go ahead.
Is a California law which prohibits discrimination based on hairstyle and hair texture by extending protection under the FEHA and the California Education Code. It is the first legislation passed at the state level in the United States to prohibit such discrimination.
You see, it had to be a law where these people couldn't fire people for Black people from wearing their natural hair to work. Scroll down, let's see what year. Keep reading. It's gonna say the year.
The Crown, which was drafted and sponsored by State Senator Holly Mitchell, was passed unanimously in both chambers of the California legislature by June 27, 2019.
That was 6 years ago. And the brother said, we ain't got to deal with none of that today.
He's obviously living in a bubble. something like that.
Exactly. This is somebody who trusts in oppression the way that he talks. He's living in a bubble. He's not realizing this is legislation. This is laws. That means that people were getting fired for wearing, I think it's, scroll down. It gives you the hairstyles. Let's see. Keep going. Go back up. No, I don't say it, but somewhere in there it say that it was talking about afros, dreadlocks, and one more I can't remember. What people is that? That's black people. That means that these people who was wearing dreadlocks and all this stuff, these were the people that were getting fired from their jobs, and so much that they had to create a law. And she put it in the book. She's breaking it down. Let's get an example. Go to the next video. Let's get an example of black fatigue in real time. We gonna watch one of our brothers. Hey, I don't condone violence. Matter, it's against the Bible anyway. You know, you can defend yourself. Yeah. But let's get an example of go to the first one. Let's watch this. You got big. You're not doing.
I tried to help you.
Pause. I don't condone violence. But this is a brother this is a great example of black fatigue. Yeah, I don't know the story. They gonna say what happened. So keep going. He said, I tried to help you. Let's see what happened. Go ahead.
Stop, girl. Stop. No. I tried to help you. Don't touch me. 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 How about that? Yeah, I don't want to do. Stop, bro. Yo, let him go. They tired. Oh, bitch. I want you. What's up? All right. Yo, chill.
Well, that didn't go as planned.
That didn't go as planned. Because y'all didn't see. They was talking bad. Calling him all kind of N-words and all type of stuff. We just seen black fatigue in real time. So go back. Let's see what happened. Let's see, because he gonna say what happened.
Put up the picture for Massive.
Rewind,
I have some new ones.
Rewind about 10 seconds. Right.
Well, that didn't go as planned. Put up the picture for Massive. I have some nuance to provide. We're going to keep the picture up. It may have been difficult to understand some of the verbiage that was utilized during this melee because of the censoring that's required. And I was able to see a more extended version of this video. And the black male was being repeatedly called the N-word initially by the female in the video. That's what happened at first. He did not have any aggression toward her during that time. It wasn't until the white male said the phrase, "I will kill you, N-word." Now, in all jurisdictions in America, that's considered to be a terroristic threat. That's a violent threat. A specific person has been targeted. Individual is in a proxy, meaning located next to you, and they said they're going to kill you. And that is when, after that aggressive action for the black male, he decided to engage in combat, or some would argue protection. Now, I do not condone violence at all. I condone self-defense in all variable terms, but not violence. Now, let's put the picture back up. This was an interesting saga because if you look at the video, you will see that the black male is doing his best to get to the white male again. And the white male does end up saying, "I love you." And I want to say, isn't that the point? Don't we want to get to a place of loving each other? I'm just saying there's more than one way to get there. That's all I'm saying. All right.
Yeah. All right, nigga, stop sharing. Nigga, stop sharing. That was black fatigue in real time. You have to, they have, for us to get to the love part, you have to pay for your crimes first. You have to pay for your crimes first. After that white man, so-called white man, paid for his crime, he said, "I love you, man."
This is right. It can't get no righter.
He said, "I love you." Go to the next video. Go to the next video. That brother had black fatigue. He was trying his best to hold back, but that black fatigue kicked in. Go to Charlie Kirk.
On the mic. Oh, mic check 1 2 1 2. All right, cool. Make sure everybody can hear me. What's going on, man? Doing all right. Welcome to Knoxville. I'm up here for one purpose. My buddy is a friend of yours. He lives up in White Pine, and he wants me to have this discussion with you because me and him had this discussion this weekend. What are your thoughts about reparations for Black people specifically, and like Black Americans specifically? What is your
very much against?
Very much against. Can I ask why?
Well, first and foremost, I don't believe that we should ever pay monetary damages to people where nothing bad happened to them, just because they are related to a group of people where something bad happened to them.
Okay, so
because it separates the idea. Let me just finish, and then I'll throw it back to you. Absolutely. Our justice system, when properly understood, is about individuals receiving justice, not tribes or groups receiving justice.
Also, I want to state that just because I am a Black.
Pause. He said he's against reparation because our justice system is not about tribes or groups giving justice. It's about individuals getting justice. All right.
Emotional damage.
Stop sharing this out. Type in Israel reparations. Go to Google, type in Israel reparations. Zoom in on that. Read that out. One.
Reparation from Germany to Israel. Following the Holocaust, West Germany and Israel signed the reparation agreement in 1952, also known as the Luxembourg Agreement.
So West Germany decided to give reparation to the people they claimed as Israel back in 1952. Remember, they had just got put into Israel in 1948. By 1952, 4 years later, they was getting reparations. Read the next bullet point.
West Germany committed to paying Israel for the cost of resettling Jewish refugees and to compensate individuals.
Hold on, who?
Compensate individual Jewish survivors.
So you see how he said individual, but as a whole. So that was a whole group of people getting paid as individual. Hey, won't that be for us? A whole group of people getting paid as individuals. They can understand this when it comes to other white people. When it comes, and I know what y'all thinking. Y'all thinking this is West Germany. This ain't America. We gonna see how America ties into this. Go to the next bullet point.
This agreement was a crucial step in the reconciliation between Germany and Israel.
Hold on. It said it was a crucial step. Reparations was a crucial step in reconciliation between Germany and Israel. Wouldn't that be a crucial step for America and the so-called Negro?
Mm-hmm.
If y'all tired of us talking about slavery, why don't you do something about it? Why don't you make reconciliation? Why don't you do something that shows that you're sorry? They think what he say? What Trump? We give you jobs. But when it comes to other white people, they can understand it. Go to the scroll down because it got the money. Let's see how much was it. Scroll down. Read that in the last bullet point in 2024.
In 2024, the Claims Conference and the Authority for Holocaust Survivors in Israel announced a new one-time payment for all Holocaust survivors in Israel called the Solidarity for Israel Fund.
That was last year.
Yeah,
they've been paying since 1952, and they still paying. That means West Germany is still paying for what they did to them. But when you talk about reparations for us, it's a whole. You see how the excuse the Edomite made? They're still paying it. How big was that bill? Damn, how big was that bill? They're still paying it. That's longer than a house note. Scroll down. It's let me see. It was scroll down. Put in Israel reparations. Put cost in there. See if we get the amount. There it is. Read that. That's the Luxembourg Agreement.
Luxembourg Agreement, 1952. West Germany agreed to pay Israel 3 billion Deutschmarks, 714 million at the time, equivalent to more than 8 billion today.
He said in 1952, they agreed to pay $3 billion to the survivors and the family of the ones that died. $3 billion. Go ahead.
Over 14 years.
It was only supposed to be 14 years. Go ahead.
This agreement also included payments to the conference on Jewish material claims against Germany for individual victims.
Go down to total payments.
Total payments. As of 2018, the German government had paid approximately 86.8 billion in
what?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be 3 billion. As of 2018 was what? 7 years ago? As of 2018, Germany government has paid over 86 billion. Read that again.
Total payment. As of 2018, the German government had paid approximately 86.8 billion in restitution and compensation to Holocaust victims and their heirs.
And who?
And their heirs.
And their heirs.
Dang, that's a cut right there.
And their heirs, meaning this. So he's talking about, oh, the stuff that you wasn't ever a slave.
Generational. That's generational.
Generational wealth come that from this one act that they say 6 million people died. They didn't pay 80. Keep going. This is crazy.
You know what? It always kind of baffled me though a little bit how Jewish people suck at faking the funk. Like y'all supposed to be an oppressed people, and what I mean is y'all supposed to be impoverished. Y'all supposed to look the part. It don't look that way at all.
Exactly. They
not even
rule
trying.
everything. They imagine how many businesses were started off that money.
Yeah, they're not even trying. This includes financial contribution to victims' funds, survivors' pensions, and compensation for assets seized during the Holocaust.
Look at the ongoing payments.
Germany continues to provide financial support to Holocaust survivors worldwide. In 2024, Germany agreed to pay over 1.4 billion to survivors globally, which includes funding for home care service and direct payments.
They still creating new agreements.
They looking out.
They create these people has been getting paid since 4 years after they got established in Israel in 1948. Now I know what y'all saying online. What this got to do with America? That's Germany. But think about it. They all white people. They looking out. So let's see how America deal. Go to Google this. The Marshall Plan, Marshall. The Marshall Plan. All right, show more. Zoom in on that. Read that.
The Marshall Plan, officially the European Recovery Program, was a U.S. initiative to provide aid to Western Europe after World War II.
So after World War II, they created the Marshall Plan because they had to. Well, let's go say it. Go ahead.
Launched communism and foster stable democracies and international trade. The plan provided over 13 billion in aid to 16 European nations between 1948 and 1951.
So it was from 13 billion for 16 European nations. Let's see who's part of them 16 European nations. Scroll down. Let's scroll down. Let me see if we got the names. Scroll down. Click that Wikipedia right there. I think the Wikipedia got who all was included. Read that second paragraph. There it is. The Marshall Plan. Zoom in on it. Right there.
The Marshall Plan aid was divided among the participant states roughly on a per capita basis.
So meaning it was based on the population. Go ahead.
A larger amount was given to the major industrial powers as the prevailing opinion was that their resuscitation was essential for the general European revival.
You see that? It was important because this is how they recover after the war. Go ahead.
Somewhat more aid per capita was also directed toward the Allied nations, with less for those that had been part of the Axis or remained neutral. The largest recipient of Marshall Plan money was the United Kingdom, receiving about 26% of the total. The next highest contribution went to France, 18%, and West Germany.
And who?
West Germany.
West Germany was the one who had to do what? Pay in 1952 they had to pay Israel. Well, how can they afford to remember they just lost the war? How can they afford to rebuild their land and agree to pay them $3 billion at the same time? It was because the U.S. gave them a gang of money to rebuild, to help them rebuild. So America indirectly helped them pay that bill, because they wouldn't agree to that if they had to rebuild their own city. Scroll down, keep reading.
West Germany, 11%. Some 18 European countries received plan benefits. Although offered participation, the Soviet Union refused plan benefits and also blocked benefits to Eastern Bloc countries such as Romania and Poland. The United States provided similar aid programs in Asia, but they were not part of the Marshall Plan.
So remember, this happened between 1948 and 1951. And when did West Germany make that agreement to pay Israel back? In 1952. So the U.S. indirectly helped them, and U.S. they send Israel money. It's a gang of countries sending Israel money. Why is that? Because they're looking at it as what these people went through. They deserve this money. What we went through, it don't matter. Niggas get a job. Go back. Go back to the video that we was watching, but go to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Hold on. Now go to 0. Now let's watch this again. Knowing what we know, watch see how his response hit now.
On the mic. Oh, mic check 1 2 1 2. All right, cool. Make sure everybody can hear me. What's going on, man? Doing all right. Welcome to Knoxville. I'm up here for one purpose. My buddy is a friend of yours. He lives up in White Pine, and he wants me to have this discussion with you because me and him had this discussion this weekend. What are your thoughts about reparations for Black people specifically, and like Black Americans specifically? What is your
very much against?
Very much against. Can I ask why?
Well, first and foremost, I don't believe that we should ever pay monetary damages to people where nothing bad happened to them, just because they are related to a group of people where something bad happened to them.
Now, man, I wish somebody would have asked them about the agreement between West Germany and Israel. Damn. Go to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Because you know what? They can understand it when it's white on white crime. They can understand exactly what people's talking about when it's white on white crime. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Play it from there.
It's like, yes, Black people's like me personally. Yes, I did not have to suffer through Jim Crow, slavery, or whatever. But all those choices that were made in those times have gotten necessarily me to where I'm at now.
Got it. So let me tell you where we have a difference of opinion.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay? Absolutely. So we as conservatives tend to underemphasize this idea of many legacies of suffering. Mm-hmm. Whereas people on the left, not saying you're on the left, but the other perspective.
Definitely not.
No, for sure. But that's fine. No, that's fine. Let's just say the other side of the argument tend to emphasize that you are stuck because of something that happened to you many generations prior. we believe, absent very unique circumstances in the United States of America, that is almost never true. For example, we think every individual should be judged by their own actions, their own character, and their agency. Now, let's play this out, though. You're acting as if, not you, but let's say the argument, because you're coming after this in a great way, there's been like no money sent Black America the last 60 years. We have spent over $25 trillion on Black America in 60 years, and Black America's poorer than before we started. We're talking about Medicaid, food stamps. We're talking about schools, public housing.
Pause.
The issue.
Pause it. Esau is the devil is a damn liar. He said Medicaid, foods, ain't that for everybody? Ain't that for every... Man, these some devils, man. They every time they speak, they prove it. They prove it. Last time I checked, Black people ain't the only people on Medicaid, food stamps, and public housing. He literally just said that's for Black people. Hey, let's get a moment of silence for so-called white man. Damn, they some liars. And the young man just let him get away with that. Go back to it. Damn. He said we didn't pay Black people $225 trillion with Medicaid, food.
Is not the amount of money. The issue has instead been a couple things. Number one, it's been the downfall of the Black family.
Well,
and unfortunately,
now he's true there. He's true there. But how did the Black family fall? That's a whole nother topic that you can get so many topics from. Let a white man talk. You can get so many topics from the Bible just from listening to these people talk. This one video, I probably got about 3 topics off this video. Now, he's true on the downfall of the Black family. What happened, though? Because we were more together during the Jim Crow. Before integration, we had a higher rate of children growing up in a 2-parent household better than the white people during that time. Go on and play it.
Yeah, the more money we've spent on this, we've seen the downfall of the Black family. Just some numbers super quick. Is that in 1964, right before the passage of the Civil Rights Act, 75% of Black youth had a dad around. Now it's 25%. So only 25%. So 1 in 4 kids have a dad around. Black dads are no longer a big part of young kids' life. It's a very big problem that has huge ramifications. Then finally, on the reparations argument, that comes into just more like concrete questions. Where do you draw the line? Who defines it? And also, why would you tax, for example, somebody like me? My ancestors fought on the Union side of the Civil War. So I got to go pay more money, even though my ancestors did the right thing. No offense if you guys fought for the Confederacy. That's not trying to, drum up any, it's all good. We're all Americans now. I'm not. Why should I have to then go pay for something that my ancestors did correctly? Finally, it's like, how do you prove it? Like this is not.
Pause. Damn, Esau is the damn devil. Go to Google and type in the amount of money that U.S. sent to Israel. He just said, why do I have to pay for something my ancestors did right? My ancestors wasn't on the Confederate side during the war, the Civil War. My ancestors was on the right side. Okay. Why the hell is my tax money going to Israel then? We weren't even part of that. The devil, and it's like the way they talk is so crafty that you literally have to break down everything they say. Read that.
The U.S. provides significant financial assistance to Israel, primarily in the form of military aid. In 2022, the most recent year for which data is available, the U.S. committed over $3.3 billion in foreign assistance to Israel.
That's in 1 year. 1 year of my tax money being paid to a group of people. We had nothing. Didn't he just say that? His tax money is going to there too. But that's okay. That's okay. He said, why do my tax money have to be paid for when my ancestors will fought for you guys? But your tax money is going over to Israel right now as you speak. For something you so-called what West Germany did. Is the more they speak, the more you see how devilish they are. Go ahead, up.
A large portion of this aid, 99.7%, went to the Israel military, with only a small amount allocated to the country's economy, according to USA Facts. This military aid is part of a long-standing agreement, and the U.S. has committed to providing Israel with at least $3.8 billion per year through 2028.
Through 2028, they're going to get $4 billion a year of our tax money. Of his tax money. The so-called white man, who he just said, why should my tax money be paid to you guys? But he has no complaint for that. Some damn devils, man. Let's go. You can stop sharing that out. Go to Ecclesiastes 7:7, man. Now, the whole point of this is this black fatigue that our people go through, this black fatigue that you go through, that's the beginning of your wake-up call. It's we're not being, according to God, according to the Bible, we're not being oppressed for no reason. It's a specific reason we're being oppressed. And watching all of this, watching these people, Edomites talking about black fatigue, this Edomite talking about, nah, I don't, why should I pay taxes to give you guys money? And he's paying tax, have no problem giving $4 billion to Israel. Why is it that they can oppress us how the way they have no guilt? Our people going crazy being oppressed. Looking at each other crazy. Why is that? Let's get Ecclesiastes 7:7.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
It say oppression make a wise man mad. That word mad there is not like angry. That word mad means foolish. This is the answer to why we see our women twerking. Our women, the brothers, the what they call that, the one parent household, all the stuff that we going through is because oppression drives you crazy, according to the Bible. Read that again.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
Go ahead.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
Let's break down that word mad. Go to Isaiah 44:25. He said, oppression maketh the wise man mad. What do that mean?
Isaiah 44 and verse 25. That frustrated the tokens of the liars and maketh diviners mad.
It say it make divine. Remember, it's talking about liars, and diviners are the ones that's in witchcraft, divination. It said God makes them mad. Why? Go ahead.
That turneth wise men backward.
It say it do what?
turneth wise men backwards.
It turned wise men backwards. Mean if you can be a wise man, but you can be turned backwards. That's what mad means. It said it turned a wise man backwards. Go ahead.
And maketh their knowledge foolish.
And make their knowledge foolish. So oppression, when it say oppression make a wise man mad, it means it makes them foolish. It makes them foolish. It makes them do things that they naturally wouldn't do. Our people has been oppressed for so long that they are turned back. We are turned backwards. We're going backwards. You heard what the dude said. He said in 1960s, 75% of our children were born living in two-parent households. Since they turned up the oppression with the Medicaid and they basically start paying people to not get married. You can't get the benefits if a father's in the house. And what that happened? It made us start going backward. That's oppression. Go to Job 36. So black fatigue, if you got black fatigue, you looking at, you considering all the ways of American, considering how they treat us, considering that they had to make laws that's so you can wear your natural hair to work in 2019, the stuff that's going on, you got to start looking at this oppression and tying it to the Bible. You will start realizing who you are in the Bible. That's your wake-up call. Job 36, verse 6.
Job chapter 30. You said Job about?
Job, J-O-B.
Well, you want chapter 36?
36, verse 6.
Job chapter 36 and verse 6. He preserveth not the life of the wicked, but giveth right to the poor.
The poor right there means afflicted, oppressed. Go ahead.
He withdraweth not the eyes from the righteous, but with kings are they on the throne. Yea, he doth establish them forever, and they are exalted. And if they be bound in fetters, and be holden in cords of affliction,
go ahead.
Then he showeth them their work and their transgressions, that they have exceeded.
So he said first they will be kings, but then their transgression, they gonna become afflicted. Go ahead.
He openeth also their ear to discipline, and commanded that they return from iniquity.
So he said he commanded that they return from iniquity. But how do he command this? Jump to verse 15. Well, keep going. Verse 10.
You mean 11?
Right? I mean 11, my bad.
If they obey and serve him.
So he said, if they obey and serve him, go ahead.
They shall spend their days in prosperity and their years in pleasure.
Go ahead.
But if they obey not.
But if they don't obey God, go ahead.
They shall perish by the sword, and they shall die without knowledge.
That's what's happening to our people now. The poor, the afflicted, the oppressed. Go ahead.
But the hypocrites in heart heap up wrath. They cry not when he bindeth them.
He said they cry not when he bindeth them, meaning they don't realize why they getting oppressed. They don't know why they getting oppressed. They don't cry to God when they're getting oppressed. Go ahead.
They die in youth.
They do what?
They die in youth.
Our children is dying younger and younger. They die in youth. Go ahead.
And their life is among the unclean. He delivereth the poor in his affliction.
He said he delivered the poor in his affliction. I mean, he sent the oppressed in his affliction. Oppressed is something that comes from God. Oppression. It comes from God. For a whole nation to get oppressed, God has to do that or allow that to happen. Go ahead.
He and openeth their ears.
When it means open their ear, means they start to listen. They start to pay attention. The poor, they start to pay attention. Go ahead.
And openeth their ears in oppression.
In oppression. That black fatigue that you get for consistent racism, that's your wake-up call. That's what's going to open your ear. it's supposed to open your ear to what God is trying to tell you, what God is trying to show you. That is your true wake-up call. But you can't trust in oppression like we seen the other black folks doing. They trust in oppression. That didn't happen to you. That happened to your slave. Like there is no mental ramifications passed down generation to generation. You can pass down trauma to your kids right now. You mean to tell me since slavery, there is no trauma being passed down from generation to generation? You just got to put your down and work hard. And you can live like Esau. You can live like the so-called white man. No, we still getting oppressed. We still getting oppressed. Go to Deuteronomy 28 and 29.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 29.
This is what the Deuteronomy 28 is, the curses to Israel. Go ahead. Let me tell y'all that ain't no reparations coming. So-called black man, so-called black, ain't no reparations coming. Especially from the so-called white man. Ain't no reparations coming. The same people is the only way they would have did it is if we was white people like them. Like West Germany, that was white on white crime. They knew that they still locking people up for that. The Nazis, it's Nazis right now acting like they wasn't part of Germany when that happened. Because if they find them, they will lock them up in 2025 for that way back in the early 1900s. They still getting locked up. Us, we just got to forgive. Let it go. Let's get that verse 29.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore.
It say we go only be oppressed. Ain't no reparations coming. Ain't no they finna want us. They don't want us to forgive them. They have this great nation because we built it. They can't let us know that. Because we'll go build our own nation. But even if we do, they go bomb it. Go to Psalm 62 and 10. So what the Most High tell us to do? Psalm 62 and 10.
Psalms chapter 62 and verse 10. Trust not in oppression.
Say don't trust in oppression. There should be no black people up there talking about, I'm black fatigue, I'm tired of black people, white people tired of you too. You trust in oppression, man. What do you say? There is no racism today. You was never a slave. You trust in oppression. The mentality or the black culture that the brother was describing, you mean to tell me you don't think slavery and the oppression has no part on that? And the things they push, Glorilla won Gospel Record of the Year. And this is crazy. The same time she won that award, right before she won, she was on stage performing with her booty out. She was on stage with her goodies all out. Sat back down and won Gospel of the Year award. Or Gospel Record, whatever it was. The people who they was pissed. They was pissed. But that's another story. It takes oppression for a award. That's who grows up and say, I want to do this to win a BET award. Because they trash. It's trash. Everybody say, no, I wanna win an Oscar. I want to win an Emmy, because they don't play that type of stuff when it comes to their stuff. They don't play that stuff when it comes to theirs. But when it comes to ours, it's like they doing it on purpose. It's like they doing it on purpose. So if it ain't evil enough, that ain't even her genre. Go ahead, Doc. Psalm 62 and 10.
Psalm 62 and verse 10. Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them.
So that's what happened to the black people that trust in oppression. They start trusting in oppression because they start to make money. They start to make money. When you start to make money, then you start to trust in oppression. Oh, that was way, you were never a slave. That was never, just is foolishness, man. Go to Baruch 4 and 6.
Baruch chapter 4 and verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations.
Now he's telling us why we were oppressed. Our history is in the Bible. Our oppression is in the Bible. There is nowhere in the Bible where it says the other nation was going to oppress you and then pay you billions of dollars every year. That Jewish stuff that's the Jewish people going through, you don't where in the scriptures you gonna read they gonna pay you billions of dollars? No. If that, why would Christ come back? They got it good. They had one thing happen to them, and they still getting paid for it. Trillions per year. That 3.8 billion from America, that's just one nation paying now. They ain't even including what they're getting from West Germany and the other different nations, because they taking care of each other. White on white crime. It's crazy. Read again.
Baruch chapter 4 and verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved God to wrath.
Because we pissed God off. Go ahead.
Ye were delivered unto the enemies.
So we were delivered to them because we didn't want to listen to God. We're still not listening to God today. Go ahead.
For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils.
Doing idolatry. Go ahead.
And not to God. Ye have forgotten the everlasting God that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. For when she saw the wrath of God coming upon you, she said, hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion. God hath brought up upon me great mourning.
So God brought great mourning. Great mourning. That's that what? Black fatigue. That great mourning, that's the so-called black fatigue. And that's your wake-up call. Go to Hosea 5 and 15.
Hosea chapter 5 and verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
Till they acknowledge their offense. Go ahead.
And seek my face. In their affliction.
In our affliction, in our oppression. Go ahead.
They will seek me early.
That's the only time we'll look for God. Say they will seek me early in their affliction. So what's the point of this oppression? It's not for no reason. What are we supposed to do in this captivity? Go to 1 Kings 8 and 47. This is your wake-up call. Look at the oppressions. Consider the oppressions of the world, of all your people, the ones that were sold here, sold there, and still getting oppressed today. This is what's supposed to happen in your wake-up call. Go ahead.
1 Kings chapter 8 and verse 47. Yet if they shall bethink themselves in the land whether they were carried captive.
So you still in the land that you were carried captives. You still in the same land that your ancestors was brought over as slaves in captivity. So he said you need to bethink yourself in the land that you were carried captives. Go ahead.
And repent.
And do what?
And repent.
Our oppression is supposed to make us repent. You are a child of God, and you continue to go against him. You continue to sin against him. So we are going to continue to be oppressed as a nation until we repent and cry unto the Lord. This is your wake-up call. Black fatigue is your wake-up call. Go ahead.
And make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captive.
In the land where you was carried captives. Go ahead.
Saying, we have sinned.
We have what?
We have sinned.
You have sinned. Go ahead.
And have done perversely. We have committed wickedness. And so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul.
With all your return unto God with all your heart, with all your soul. We gonna continue to be oppressed until we repent in the land of our captivity. There's everybody can't read. A Jewish man can't even read this scripture and say that's us. An Asian man can't read that scripture and say that's us. But you can read that and you should be able to feel that, especially if you having black fatigue. You should be feeling these scriptures right now because it's talking about you. Go ahead.
Which led them away captive, and pray unto thee toward their land, which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for my name. Then hear thou their prayer.
He said, then I'm going to start hearing your prayer. Go ahead.
And their supplication in heaven, thy dwelling place, and maintain their cause.
And maintain your cause. He said, then I'm going to help you. Then I'm going to get you out of oppression. That's the gospel. That's the gospel. One more. Give me Isaiah 61 and verse 1. That's the gospel. To be free from captivity. A lot of people, I know a lot of Christians might say, yeah, the captivity of sin, which is true, but it's also talking about oppression. Let's get the gospel. Isaiah 61 and verse 1.
Isaiah chapter 61 and verse 1. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings.
Good tidings, that's the gospel. Go ahead.
Unto the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty.
To proclaim freedom. Go ahead.
To the captives.
To the captives. Go ahead.
And the opening of the prison to them that are bound.
That's the gospel. That's the gospel. So that black fatigue that you feeling, the real black fatigue, I'm not talking about that false definition of black fatigue. I'm talking about the black fatigue that was coined from this sister, Mary Winters, meaning the fatigue you get from racism, oppression. You have to make laws just so people can stop discriminating against you. Can't wear your natural hair, can't drink, all type of stuff. That's your wake-up call to return back to your God and separate from the heathens. Choose none of their ways. It's going to get worse. We see we didn't had a bad spring season, tornado season, especially here in St. Louis. Had a bad tornado. It's going to get worse. Trump about to push that button, about to be World War III. Because when it said, the scriptures say when Israel is back in the land, there's supposed to be no more war. They bombing, Iran and Israel bombing each other right now. Today, bombing each other. Meaning what? That billions of dollars that the U.S. been sending for their military, it ain't gonna work. Prophecy has to pass. Prophecy has to pass. So all praises to the Most High. I pray that y'all got the real understanding of the term black fatigue. It doesn't mean what white people can't have black fatigue. No other race can have black fatigue. So I pray that edification went out. We go, let's get Matthew 26, and then we go pause and let y'all get y'all communion ready, and we go come back, do communion, and close it on out. Let's get Matthew 26.
This is Matthew 26, starting at verse 6. Now when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman, having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Jesus understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman hath done be told for memorial of her.
So all praises for that memorial of Mary of Bethany. She was a great example of repentance, in so much that Christ gave her that memorial. So let's take a quick pause to get our communion ready, and we'll be right back. All right, let's go ahead, close it on out with communion.
This is the Lord's communion. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 23. For I have received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, that the Lord Jesus, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. And when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat. This is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me.
So this represents the body of Christ.
Verse 25. After the same manner also, he took the cup when he had supped, saying, This cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me.
This represents the new covenant.
Verse 26. For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the Lord's death till he come. And verse 27. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord. But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body.
Once again, all praise to the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Israel. I pray that you guys be steady in the truth, continue to keep the commandments, continue to have faith, increase your faith, pray, watch, read prophecies, study, know what's going on. And when you study the things that's going on with yourself. Get better every day. Grow every day. Have the want to grow. Have the want to be better. That's the only thing that's gonna beat this oppression. And when I say be better, fight your demons. Read the Bible. Know what sin is. And if you're guilty of it, become clean of it. The grace of God can get you through it. The grace of God is how you be godly in this present world. Because like I always say, it ain't gonna be no sin in the kingdom. You talking about nobody's perfect. Guess what? Everybody in the kingdom will be perfect. It ain't gonna be you got a little porn, struggling with a little porn here and there. Nah. You need to overcome that and endure it to the end. Endure it to the end. So once again, all praise to the Most High. Enjoy the rest of your Sabbath. Shalom.